All right, so we're gonna get a classical time control game in the books. See what we end up with. White, black, who knows? We're maintaining this 1700 barely plus rating. Gotta get in there and get a dub. Okay, knight to f3. Probably see something like knight to c6. If that's the case, we could look at going at a bit of well, either way. Yeah, we could get into a little bit of a Scotch game here. Or do we want to go with some Ruy Lopez? Scotch, a little bit more sharp. Ruy, a little bit more positional. So that's the big question. Ruy or Scotch? Ruy or Scotch? Let's go with the Scotch, man. You know why? Because it's just funner. That's why. No, it's funner to me. Okay, so the line here is knight takes d4, bishop to c5, bishop to e3. And black, if not mistaken, will try and get himself castled, so knight to f6 is coming. Other ideas in the Scotch are knight takes f6, or excuse me, knight takes c6, right? And this creates a nice little double pawn over there on the c file. Oh, homeboy not messing around, man. So knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, bishop takes d4, queen takes d4. And then bishop to c4. Now if we do get that, interesting. Now that's an auto, to me that's just an auto pawn push. And really, I don't think the best continuation. Because no matter what lands here on f6, you push the pawn. That's kind of my thoughts on the whole ordeal. Okay, so you know, in this instance, he's on two different pawns. So do we have any threats of our own to create a little bit of counterplay? Something for him to chew on. G3 will be met with queen takes c2. Bishop to d3 will be met with queen takes g2. So maybe pushing isn't the best move when the queen comes out, right? They've got their mitts on all my pawns, so that's rough. But we're classical, so we can take our time and look for the correct answer. Do you know what is open? I would lose a pawn, but something this way with him taking the g2 pawn. I just don't see a way to block both of them. The queen would be really overworked and unguarded, which is we don't want to leave the queen hanging, of course. So we have to look for other ways. So instead of defending, what about giving this our opponent something to think about. Actually, you know, in all fairness, I don't know why this didn't occur to me, but the bishop's already protecting g2, so all we really have to worry about is this pawn here. So I think the best way, and see, this is, I don't get to develop with that move, with the queen to g6. I'm not getting to develop. It looks like we're gonna have to go with c3, just so we don't lose that pawn. And then in order to castle and develop the knight, or the bishop, kingside bishop, light square bishop, we're going to have to get into a position that protects the pawn on g2. Or, I mean, we could always fianchetto that bishop, but that'd be kind of weird in the Scotch, I think. Fianchettoing the bishop. That'd be a little odd, I think. Nonetheless, good times, good times. Get a little tweet out, let people know I'm playing chess. Usually goes right to my dashboard.
And you just make yourself right at home and stay as long
Interesting.
as you want to.
It's having a tough time doing so. There we are. Okay, we'll tweet that little bastard out. You can always go follow me at ChessAdam on Twitter. I appreciate it. I'll tweet that. It has been tweeted. The tweeting has begun. Opponent's having a long think about his next maneuver. He's going to have a hard time castling as well. That knight can't go to f6. Okay, so he's going to fianchetto the bishop, and he's going to attack that sucker. So I think the first thing to do, say knight to d2, bishop to b7, knight to f3, bishop takes f7, pawn takes bishop takes f3, pawn takes f3. That's just boring, right? Hey, Norbert, happy Halloween. Welcome to the stream, buddy, where it's always Halloween. Every day of the year, Norbert. Every day. You know, either way, what he's doing here, I think, is cracking open both the Now, what's interesting, something like g3 would be really enticing for his bishop. He's definitely going b7, right? Because he's like, oh, I'm going to get the rook. But what about now that he can't slam down and take g2, bishop to d3, attacking the queen. Now what does he do with the queen? Like, are we moving the queen over to, say, c6? Yeah, that could be problematic. Not a good idea. You know, boys, I think we are going to be castling on the queen side. We're going to castle long. Because I think there's too much pressure over here on the king side already. And while I'd like to get some type of counterattack going, I really just can't. That queen being out is just super aggressive. And I kind of almost want him to think that I'm still looking to castle kingside, right? Like if I just up and go rook to g1, and he's like, oh, he's going to be castling over long, you know, he's going to castle long. That would definitely telegraph the intention. So I want him to think that my whole goal here is to try and castle kingside. And you know what? Almost be crazy to go ahead, let him capture that pawn by, say, moving bishop. Okay, so here's an idea. Bishop f6, right? Or bishop f6. Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Bishop d3, instantly whammo, right? Queen takes g2. Then castles are b1 diagonals taken care of by the bishop. And then we're looking at rook h to g1, open. Oh, well, howdy do. Man. I mean, are they just like playing around with their queen? They're just like, I'm gonna just move my queen around and over here and there. Okay, unless they're watching the stream and they just heard all of my plans, which is possible. I get stream snipers all the time. Maybe I said I was gonna castle long just because I wanted to mess with them. Notice they still haven't moved their pieces are castled.
You been looking at my Janet? No, no way.
Hey, Commander Root. Thank you for the follow, buddy. Obvious is rook to b1, protecting the pawn. Can't do anything rash, Mr. Turner. Yeah, so what if I were to just like go this way? I'll just threaten your dang piece. And now we'll just threaten checkmate. Oh no. How do you block that? You've spent all your time playing with your queen. Oh, now you know what? Okay, so we've got to be careful about that. Yeah, I just got aggressive. So they're still in the center, doing nothing. That's coming. Oh man, I wish I had one more move. Oh, this is the perfect idea. Once bishop here to b7, then we just go bishop d7, or excuse me, bishop d5. Okay. Oh, blag, damn it. Guy keeps screwing everything up for me. It's like he's playing a game. Oh wait, he's playing chess. There's no checks here. We were ready for that. If he moves the pawn down c6, we just back up again. So any move this knight makes doesn't look so hot. You can take the queen and then pick up the knight later. Move 16. Man, this game seems to be going on. But so I wonder what we're gonna get. Bishop takes d5 or c6. That's the question. I do not know yet. If we do the math, it means c6 is okay. I'll just pull the bishop back. And then if he moves it to, like, say c4 or c5, then I just move the bishop back to d5. So bishop just goes right back to d5. We are not giving them the a1, h8, or h1, a8 diagonal. Not gonna happen. There it is. Okay. So now, look at that. That would be a beautiful fork if we had something else to back it up. Okay, so we'll just kick this bishop back. And let's get this knight into the game. I want to optimize all of my pieces. That's the idea in chess. Optimize your pieces. If they're somewhere not doing something, get them running. Right now, that rook over here on b8 is having to guard the bishop on b7. So that's his job. As long as I'm occupying any pieces on that diagonal, that rook is staying put, which means we can use both of our rooks, okay? And look at how much pressure we could exert on the d file right now. I think our d file is our avenue into their position. Now watch this person start putting crap on the d file, like say rook f to d8. Okay, they went to e. So they're wanting to exert pressure there. And I hope my power doesn't go off. That would suck. The lights just flickered. We're not even having a storm. That's another beautiful bishop fork right here. That's just gotta feel bad having the king like pinned here. This piece could be taken. If we could somehow get this to move, like this is pinned, which I like. I wonder if Fischer would have been, I know he would have moved back here, like in the Rui. We'll see, right now we can threaten this, but let's go ahead. You know, I think the most important thing right now is to get this pressure on this d file. There's nobody even blocking or guarding that pawn. We can just start exerting pressure on that open file. I feel like his knight's pretty good. They're on f4 or f5, excuse me. I'm still getting better with my coordinates, so I apologize. Oh, and there's a juicy fork too, up on d6. I don't know how we'd get our rook there, or our rook or knight there, but other ideas. Now he's got some pressure there. He's got two pieces attacking. What if I said, Bob's your uncle. I'll be taking this piece now. And where if he moves? No, 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 yes. So yeah, this is the best move that he has, is knight to e7. Knight to e7. Queen takes g6. F takes g6. Rook takes d6. And we're up a pawn. We're up a pawn, boys. And we're using that d file to crank into his position like we were talking about. Okay, that one works too. Actually, without even taking the queen, we can just go grab this pawn. Say, hello. I'm up a pawn. I've stolen your pawn. Hey, you know, that's cool with me, dude. I feel you, dog. I feel you. I just move right back down to here and protect my knight. And you still have 2 threats on your queen. The 6th rank is you're no longer welcome on. You're no longer welcome on the B1 diagonal. These dark squares are out, so you've got so you want to play rough, eh? Am I just getting a free? Oh, he wants me to take here so he can deliver a checkmate or something. That was silly. He'll pick up this, but I'm still up the exchange. You know what? This would be funny. I just crank that sucker open. Or we'll just go to his 7th rank. Like we've always wanted, like we've always talked about. Like, oh, why didn't I take the damn rook? Oh, gosh. With checkmate. I had checkmate. I had checkmate. Checkmate in 2. Queen. Oh, no, I didn't. My rook was in the way. Oh, thank God. Okay, that was the last move, was the D7 from here. Okay, from D6. Okay. So checkmate in 1, and then bishop blocks, bishop to C8, queen takes C8. So now we have to keep in mind the pawn on F7 is guarded right now by this nasty little knight. But I feel like our kung fu is strong. So he can no longer block the bishop on B7, right? Because if he does, this leads to instant checkmate, so giving us another minor piece. I told you what, blasting open that D file would work. That's what you got to look for. Like, there's always that minor piece battle first, right? And then after that minor piece battle, then you're looking at open files. So that's kind of like your opening, is like minor piece battle, who can develop the most, grab some type of, initiative or something, right? But then after that, it's kind of like, okay, where are the weaknesses here? What can we do with the rooks? How can we bring them to life? I mean, he really doesn't have many choices here. I mean, the only thing he can do, he didn't even see it, man. That's it. He didn't even see it. GG's.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Oh boy, that was an interesting game. I was actually like a little bit worried there with that queen. I think that they pulled out the queen fast, just to, like, because they probably saw my rating or whatever. I don't know. Looks like I had a couple blunders. Definitely had a blunder over here, wherever this is. We'll take a look at that here in just a second. I'm actually pretty curious. So, Scotch game, classical variation. Super fun, man. Good opponent. Wow, I had the advantage through the whole game. I only had 1 blunder. I had 3 mistakes, 3 inaccuracies. They had 4 mistakes. So, looks like I made 1 less mistake, won me that game. So definitely, let's take a look here. Where was the blunder? Okay, what did they want me to do? Okay, let me see. Let's go back a move here. Okay, so there was this idea, right? Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Something like bishop to c8, and then they would have obviously had more defenders. But instead, they're like, hey, let's just do this. And then I thought, hey, you know what? I just want your pawn. And that wasn't an accurate. That they said that's an accuracy. They're still saying, take the dang piece. And then whoa. Where was the problem? Oh, they didn't catch this. That was a huge blunder. They could have just taken this outright, because I can't recapture. If I do... Oh, man. That was terrible. Oh, that could have been really, really, really bad if they would have caught that. That was a terrible... Like, any move would have been better. Like, I could have went, like, say... Like... I don't know. Here. Still better. They take... Yeah, anything. I've still got a small advantage. See, they want me to get on the D file as well. Like, ooh, that was a huge blunder. Oh my gosh. That was a huge blunder. And neither of us caught it. Good game though, man. Well played. Cassie 22.